Why do you DDR?
It's really fun, and
they're like, oh man, that guy, he actually is coordinated.
Different types of music from all genres.
Definitely getting a good workout.
Because I must.
In 1998, Japanese computer entertainment company Konami introduced a rhythm, music, and coordination game that has since taken the international gaming community by storm. Today, Dance Dance Revolution, more commonly known as DDR, is played in arcades, in homes, and anywhere a television screen, a game system, an arrow pad, and people stomping on them can fit. DDR has one of the largest arcade game fan bases and is the devotion of such websites as ddrfreak.com. In less than 10 years, Dance Dance Revolution has become a cultural icon and a societal phenomenon, intrepidly demanding from its players, "Show me your moves."
Dance Dance Revolution!
The game is made up of two main components, the stage and the cabinet. On the stage is two sets of 4 panels, up, down, left, and right, and in the cabinet are a set of speakers and a television screen. On the screen is displayed a set of stationary arrows and a set of scrolling arrows. These scrolling arrows scroll and have patterns with them that go with the beat of the music of the song that's playing. You then step on the corresponding arrow on the pad on the stage as soon as the arrow reaches the set of stationary arrows at the top. You're then judged on your accuracy on hitting these arrows on a scale from perfect to miss. And then at the end of the song, your score is calculated and you're given a grade for that score.
Ready till the end!
The step charts start out rather simple, comprised of mainly quarter notes and half notes that go with the music. But in the more advanced charts, they incorporate both 8th notes and 16th notes, and sometimes even 32nd notes or 12th note triplets. You can consider it something similar to a drummer's score, and the sound that your foot makes can be considered somewhat of a supplemental drum track to the song.
Now, why do you play DDR?
Well, that's a good question. Why do we do anything? Because we like it and it's fun. I play DDR because it was something different that hadn't really been offered before in any sort of game that I've played, because it gives you, it's not just a rhythm and music game, which I've played before DDR, but this is the first time that you actually get up and you have to move your whole body with it. Like I said before, I played games like Parappa the Rappa and Bust a Groove, which I feel without those games there would never be games like DDR, because they were the first pioneers of just the whole idea of a music rhythm game. But DDR takes it a step further and incorporates your whole body movement into it.
Why do you play DDR?
It's really fun, and I do like exercise. So I like the adrenaline rush, and I like, I didn't used to play that well, but I had a sensei who showed me some techniques, and it wasn't him. And yeah, so I got a lot better, and then he got me to raise my confidence, and then joining tournaments. And then I liked gathering the crowd, everyone in the arcade coming to see, like, wow, someone's actually good on that thing.
Wow. So there are actually senseis that give DDR lessons?
No, there's like one that I happen to run into at this place, and his life is structured around DDR, and that's all he knows. And
So, Mike from Santee versus that Mike. Why do you play DDR?
Well, there's a lot of reasons why I play DDR. It's really enjoyable. There's a lot of different types of music from all genres.
Select music.
So I really don't ever get bored with it. And
Well, DDR is fun because, it incorporates the entire body, and pretty much you have this different styles of music, Eurobeat, Eurodance, techno, different kinds of music that you can move your body to. It's a good hobby to get into, and it's also pretty good if you're physically active.
I didn't used to dance. I don't really think I do dance still. But it looks cool, and I like entertaining people.
How did you get started playing DDR? What was the beginning?
It was actually a friend of mine that showed it to me. We'd been friends for years and years and years, and he got the game for PlayStation and a little soft mat that you can stand on to simulate playing on the stage in an arcade. And I just went over to his house one time, and he was like, hey, check this game out. And I'm like, oh, it's kind of like Bust a Groove, except you do it with your feet. And I got the game myself. I started playing it at home, and then I moved into the arcade where I became a lot more comfortable with playing on the stage in front of people rather than just by myself in my house. I still have it at home, but I don't really use it to play at home. I usually only use it for learning new step charts and learning how to read new patterns and things like that.
What do you feel is the popularity difference of home versus arcade, and why?
Well, I think within regular DDR players that play on a regular basis, I think it's more popular at home because that's the place where you can kind of try out new material, make up I guess new moves and things like that, because it seems like the arcade is more of the place where you show off. That's not where the practice is. It's basically the arcade is kind of like the game, like basketball or whatever. It's the game, and at home it's where you're practicing. No one sees the hours and hours and hours of practice, but that's where you're spending most of your time is practice, not in the game.
And then do you have the game at home?
Yes.
On PlayStation or Xbox?
Yes, I have both.
You have both?
Yes.
All right. And you play often?
Yes.
Any maybe do you have friends over and play together and stuff?
Not very often. When I was back east, I did. We would play all the time. I had more friends that played it than I do now, so.
You know we're gonna burn, burn, burn the fire, can't hold back anymore. Fire in me rages, I've got to burn the blood, burn it up with fire.
It's been said that people who do DDR for exercise will be at home on the little pad things that they connect to their PlayStations, versus the people who do it more seriously. They go to the arcades and they bring their towels and their floor standing fans and whatnot. What do you think about this classist almost structure of DDR people, or do you think there is one?
I don't really think if that's a stereotype. I haven't heard that before, but I don't really think that exercise and doing it at home versus doing it in the arcade is necessarily something that goes together. People can exercise at home. Other people will do it in the arcade. I happen to do it in the arcade. To me, it's better than going to the gym. So, but for people who do it just for exercise, I would probably say that most people would do that at home because it's less expensive.
For you, arcade versus the pad thing at home, do you find one is more preferable to you, or are there more advantages to one?
I definitely prefer the arcade. The whole premise of the game, at least when it first came out, is to show me your moves, which is the motto that the game has. And you're not really showing anyone your moves at home. People actually buy the game for at home to practice so that they can perform the moves in the arcade to show them off to the general public. And that's one of the reasons why they get the game at home. But as far as the options available for the different controllers on the floor, they don't really match up to the stage that is in the arcade. So definitely the arcade, in my opinion, is better.
Right. So that definitely segues into the social aspect of DDR. So it's been said that it's a big social thing, and what are your thoughts on the social aspects, the social phenomenon of DDR?
Well, it's definitely something special in the arcade. When you go into the arcade, at least when you think about arcades in general, in the last 20 years or so, you usually think of fighting game players going in, having a social get-together, and playing fighting games and such. But nowadays, when you go into the arcade, many times you won't see people dressed like I am right now going in and playing video games casually like that. You can usually tell who plays DDR and who doesn't play DDR just by what they have on.
Well, that's another aspect about the game that is really unique to DDRs, because when you look at a lot of other games that people play, either fighting games or racing games or any sort of just general games that people play in an arcade, they just maybe go from school or from home or whatever and they play. But the people who play DDR, who play it with any sort of sense of seriousness, they literally will go to play DDR with all of their gear, and their gear can be made up of a backpack with a towel, sports drink. They'll be dressed in sportswear, something like that.
They'll be wearing gear as if they were going to a track meet or something. They might have wristbands, headbands, and stuff.
They'll bring certain kinds of shoes are very important to some players.
Gym bag. Some people bring backpacks. They'll have digital cameras so they can take pictures of their scores, and sometimes even laptops for that purpose. And you don't usually see fighting game players or casual gamers go in with a digital camera, $300-400 piece of equipment just to take a score on the screen.
They'll go out and buy $150 pair of Nike trainer shoes because they feel it will give them an advantage in scoring better. So they bring a lot of these things to a game which would be more suitable sort of at like a sporting event, but they bring it to play this game.
Do you think DDR is a culture per se?
I think it's a subculture of the arcade gaming culture. Definitely, it's as I said before, it's something special enough where I would say this is a subgroup of the gaming culture.
As a social apparatus, would you agree that the DDR plays a very big role in at least some people's lives?
Oh yeah, I mean, if it's actually sad for me to say, I met most of my friends through this arcade that used to be down by SDSU on College Avenue, and it was a place called Golden Token Amusement. And that place is where I met most of the friends that I have now, is through that arcade and through that game and a couple other games that they had there. And, I mean, we would hang out there, every day or every other day or at least once or twice a week for almost 2.5 years until the place went out of business because I guess we weren't enough business to make them enough money. But I mean that place was our home. That was where we socialized. And if we didn't play the games, we would always meet there around the games and then use that as a hub to then go elsewhere to other places. So I mean, it's a huge social aspect because people with the similar interests tend to always group together, and that gives them a place and a subject to group around.
DDR, the video game anomaly that has become a 21st century cultural icon. Today, DDR plays a large role in many people's lives, and through the means of mass media and merchandising, reaches a broader audience than any other rhythm motion simulator in video game history. So, everyone...
Dance, dance, revolution!
I played DDR.
It means speak up! You're gonna have to speak really loudly because the microphone sucks.
Get a real microphone then,
We have
buddy.
one, it's right there. It won't plug in.
Use it.
It won't plug into my camera.
Because he's got the right shoes. He doesn't have fucking high grip DDR shoes.
Oh my god.
No, that doesn't plug in there. That's to keep you from breaking the screen.
That's great. All right.
William Wigman! William Wigman! William Wigman! Are you recording that?
Yeah.
He's so... Where is it?